and girls, I am really glad to see you again this week. We're not going to have story time next week because it's a very special day. It's Thanksgiving, and we're going to get to spend it with all of our families, I hope, and have a really good time eating lots of good food and being thankful for everything that we have. But right now, I'm thankful that I get to see you today. And we've got some pretty good stories, and I've got a special guest here with me that you're going to get to see here. Evie. This is Evie. Evie is going to help us with our stories today. Can you say hi, Evie? Evie, look at the boys and girls. Ah. Will you sit for me? Will you sit? Evie. Oh, we're going to snuggle. Okay. Can you turn around? There she goes. Oh, almost. Anyway, Evie's going to help us with some of our things today. But let's get started. All right, let's get started. Let's see if I can sing while being licked. Clap your hands if you love stories. Clap your hands, I know you do. I'm so glad that we could be together. Glad to share a story time with you. And you. Okay, guys. Oh, I'm going to tell this story with Evie here. Evie is my dog who is very, 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 very greedy, aren't you? Never met a meal that she couldn't eat in seconds, just like that. And so, just for you, Evie, we're going to tell the story of a greedy lion. Are you a greedy lion? Yeah, probably. All right, so once upon a time, there lived in a forest a greedy, greedy, greedy lion. And all of the other animals were afraid of the greedy lion because he went hunting every day. And he ate as many animals as he could eat every day, because that's what lions do. They don't buy peanut butter or cheese at the grocery store. They hunt and they eat other animals. Anyway, the animals who were not the lion were afraid of him. And they knew that if he kept doing that, pretty soon, there weren't going to be any of them left in the forest at all. Just like if you eat up all of your dog food, there won't be any left. So the animals got together and had a meeting. And they decided that they needed to have a plan. And what they decided was that every day they would offer the lion just one animal. And so they went to him and they said, "Your Majesty, please hear us out, because we have a very, very small request. The rate at which you're killing us, you're not going to have any food left because we're all going to be gone. So if we give you one animal for your food every day, you're not going to have to go hunting. You can just stay in your cave and wait for your food to come to you. And there'll be enough of us left that we won't all disappear." The lion liked the sound of not having to hunt, so he agreed. And from that day on, one animal got chosen every day to go to see the lion in his cave. Wasn't always all that great for the animal who was chosen, but the others got to live, so there was an upside. Well, one day, it became the turn of a very young rabbit. Oh, we like to chase rabbits. This rabbit did not want to be eaten by a lion. It's understandable. You wouldn't want to be eaten by a lion either, would you? But this rabbit was also very, very clever. He knew that he couldn't just break the bargain that the animals had with the lion, because then the lion would just go back to eating everybody and he'd get eaten anyway. So he had to come up with a plan that would get rid of the lion forever. And when he was supposed to start walking to the lion's cave, he took his time. Rabbits are fast, you know that. But this time the rabbit went very, very, very slowly down the path to get to the lion. And by the time he got there, that lion was not happy. He was hungry and he was running out of patience. And he said, "I waited all day long for that? For just a tiny, tiny rabbit? I'm going to teach the animals a lesson. I'm going to kill them all. Well, the rabbit said, oh, please. He pretended. Please, mighty lion. On the way here, they sent 6 rabbits because we're so small. We know that you need more than one rabbit. They sent 6 of us, but there was another lion. There was another lion in your forest, and he chased us, and he said that he was the new king of this forest, and he ate 5 of us. I was the only one who got away. So he sent me on, and he told me to tell you that this is his land now, and you need to go. Oh, the lion did not like hearing that. Not one bit. He said, this is my forest. He is the one who needs to go. Where is that other lion? And the rabbit said, I'll take you to him. And the lion agreed. And they set off through the forest. Well, the rabbit led the lion on and on and on until they came to a deep well. And the rabbit said to the lion, the other lion lives in that fortress right there. The lion went up to the edge of the well and he looked in, and it was hard to see because it was dark, but deep down in the surface of the water, he saw his own reflection. But he didn't know it was his own reflection. Remember, he was the only lion there. He didn't know what he looked like. And so he roared when he saw that other face looking up at him. And that other face roared back. And he said, why you? I'm going to teach you a lesson. And he roared again and he dived with his claws down into the water. And he didn't come back up again. I know, Evie, right? And the animals didn't have to send any more of their family or friends to a lion. And they were all happy and safe. What do you think, Evie? I know. You're smart too. So, this week is Thanksgiving, isn't it? What's your favorite thing to eat for Thanksgiving? Is it the turkey? Mashed potatoes? Now, I always eat all of my dinner, but my favorite part is the dessert. I like pumpkin pie. Sometimes I like pecan pie too. Have you ever had pecan pie? But we're going to do a figure play about all different kinds of pies today because maybe you like apple pie. Let's start with clapping our hands, okay? Apple pie, peach pie, blueberry too. Let's make a pie especially for you. We roll out the dough. You roll out the dough till it's nice and flat. And chop up the fruit, just like that. Stir in the sugar and the honey with me. March to the oven. 1, 2, 3. There comes Evie again. The pie is done. Ding goes the bell. Yum, yum, yum. Love that smell. One more time. Let's do that again. Apple pie, peach pie, blueberry too. Let's make a pie especially for you. We roll out the dough till it's nice and flat and chop up the fruit just like that. Stir in the sugar and the honey with me. March to the oven. 1, 2, 3. The pie is done. Ding goes the bell. Yum, yum, yum. Love that smell. This story is an old Russian folktale, and it's called Masha, Leave It Alone, and the Bear. This will be our bear. So once upon a time, there was an old man and an old woman, and they had a granddaughter who they loved very much, and her name was Masha. And they took very good care of her, and they were very happy living together. Well, one day, a lot of the other boys and girls in her village wanted to go into the forest to pick some berries and mushrooms. And Masha wanted to go with them very, very much. And her grandparents said, all right, But make sure that you stay very close to the other boys and girls and don't lose sight of them or you might get lost. And Masha agreed because she was a very good and very smart girl. So the children went into the forest and began gathering the mushrooms and berries. But Masha found a bush that had a lot of berries on it, and she picked and picked and picked, and before she knew it, the other boys and girls had wandered a little further away from her than she thought. She looked around and she couldn't quite see them. She followed in the direction she thought that they had gone, but what did she find? Not her friends, but a house in the middle of the forest that she'd never seen before. She said, I wonder who lives here. Maybe I'll just step inside and take a look. Now you'd think she'd have learned her lesson from Goldilocks, wouldn't you? But she didn't know Goldilocks. Goldilocks lived far away. And so Masha, just like Goldilocks, decided to go exploring in a house that was not hers in the middle of a forest that she'd never seen before. And when she went inside to look around, the door slammed behind her. Chung! And there was our bear. And the bear said, now I have you. Ha ha ha. Now you have to stay here with me. Evie. Now you have to stay here with me. And you have to be my servant. You have to clean for me. And you have to cook for me. And you have to do everything I say. Forever. Oh, Masha was so sad. She missed her grandparents. And she missed her friends. Oh no, she was so upset. The bear wouldn't let her go. He kept her there, so she had to work and work from sunrise to sundown every day. And every day the bear would say, no, you cannot go outside without me, Masha, because I know that you'll try to run away. And if you do, I will catch you and you will be sorry. So there was not really much of anything that Masha could do. Well, one day, as she was sitting there, trying to think of ways to get away from the bear, she had an idea. She said, Bear, will you let me visit my village just for one day so that I can take something good to eat for my grandma and grandpa? I used to make them all sorts of treats and cookies and cake and bread, and they don't have any of that now that I'm gone. And the bear said, no, that won't do at all. If you head out into the forest, you're just going to get lost like you did before. And if you make it to the village, you'll stay there. If you give me what you're making for your grandparents, I will take it to them. Well, that was all Masha wanted to hear. She knew that he was going to suggest that, you see. And so she made a bunch of fruit pies and she put them on a plate and then got out a very, very, very large basket. And she said, Mr. Bear, I'm going to put these pies in this basket. And then you can carry the basket on your back to take them to Grandma and Grandpa. But please don't open the basket because you're going to want to eat the pies. And they're not for you, they're for Grandma and Grandpa. Very well, said the bear. Make the basket ready and then give it to me. So the bear went out onto the porch to make sure that it wasn't raining outside. And in the meantime, Masha crawled into the basket herself. And she put the pies in her lap. And she covered herself up and closed the lid. When the bear came back inside, there was the basket all ready to go. So he took that basket and strapped it onto his back and made his way out into the forest. Now, sometimes, because he wanted to keep an eye on Masha, he would take her outside with him. And so that she didn't get lost, he would let her climb up into one of the tall trees. That way, she could always see him, and he knew that she wasn't going to be able to get away quickly. So, as he started walking down the path, the pies started to smell really, really, really good to him. And he thought, I need to rest. This is tiresome work, smelling pies that I can't eat and just walking along without any rest. So he sat down on a stump and he started to open the basket. He thought he would just take one pie. But then Masha called out from the basket, "I see you, Mr. Bear. I'm up in the tree and I see you. Don't you open that basket." The bear was embarrassed. He said, "She's too clever. She knew that I was going to do that." So he closed the basket again, and then he put it back on his back and started walking again. And the further he walked, the more tired that he got, and he decided he was going to sit down and take another rest. And he started to open the basket, and Masha called out again, "I see you! I see you! Don't you eat those pies!" And the bear said, "Wow, she must be sitting up very, very, very high in that tree to be able to still see me. I guess I better keep going and do what she said." Well, eventually, the bear came to the village, and he started looking for Grandma and Grandpa's house. And finally, he found it, and he started to bang on that gate with all of his might. He said, "Knock, knock! Open the gate! I've brought something for you from Masha. Come!" But the village dogs, "It's your turn, Evie, it's your turn." The village dogs smelled the bear, and they knew what they had to do. They started barking loud. Evie, can you speak? Speak. Not right now. You want to smell the bear. The dogs started barking louder and louder and louder, and they started chasing after the bear, and the bear got scared, and he ran away. He took the basket off because it was slowing him down, dropped it on the ground, and ran and ran and ran. The old man and the old woman came out to the gate, and they saw the basket. They said, "What's inside?" And the old man opened the top of the basket, and out popped Masha. And they were so happy. They hugged and said that she was the smartest little girl in the world. The end. All right, we're going to sing a song now. And it takes place on a farm, because when I was little, I used to go to the farm a lot for Thanksgiving. Not this year, but I remember it, and it was always a lot of fun. And the song is called "The Old Woman and the Little Pig." And the fun part about this is there's an echo. Whenever I sing oink, 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 I want you to sing it right back at me. Okay? You want to practice? So I say oink, oink, oink. I think you got it. And Evie, please, this time, because this is not the first time we've tried this song, could you please not walk directly in front of the camera or try to sniff at my hands while I'm playing? I know you want to help. It's okay. Here we go. If I have to stop this time, I'm just going to keep recording, and you'll get to see how this goes. Here we go. There was an old woman and she had a little pig. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. There was an old woman and she had a little pig. Didn't cost much and it wasn't very big. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. Pretty good. That little pig caused lots of harm. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. That little pig caused lots of harm as it ran around the farm. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. Very good, Evie. That old woman chased the pig. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. That old woman chased the pig. Hard to catch because it wasn't very big. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. Mm-hmm. That old woman fed her pig on clover. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. The old woman fed her pig on clover. It got so full it could barely roll over. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. That little pig got sick as a dog. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. That little pig got sick as a dog, but it still grew up to be a big hog. Oink, oink, oink. Oink, oink, oink. Evie, get out of that now. Come here. We'll have to trim this up, Evie. All right, sit down. Sit. Well, that was a really good story time today. Even if Evie is a little mischievous sometimes, she's still good fun to have, I think. Still good fun to have around. And it's not like I could do a really good story time if I had a hermit crab or something like that. She's more entertaining than that, aren't you? Okay. Well, I am going to miss you next week. I hope that you and your family make a lot of stories yourselves. Whenever my family and I used to get together for Thanksgiving, we would love to tell stories, sing songs, and have a great time. And maybe you can do that too. And if you really miss me, you can always turn on one of our old story times. I guess that's the good thing about having them on YouTube. But for now, it's time to say goodbye. So let's get in a good stretch. All right? We're going to do a stretch now, Evie. Don't be surprised. Everybody, let me see you reach for the ceiling and touch the floor. Stand up again. Let's do some more. Touch your head. And now your knees. Up to your shoulders. Like this, you see. Reach for the ceiling. Ooh, and touch the floor. And that's all there is. There isn't any more. Can you say bye-bye? You say bye-bye, Evie? Bye-bye.